All right, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Show Choir Nation, the flagship podcast of the Homeroom Show Choir Network. I am your host, William. Alongside me is my co-host, Ethan, and below me is our guest host for tonight, Michael James. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. The hangover was pretty bad yesterday. I will not lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hangover is doing all right today. But Ethan, we don't have time to be hungover because it's Show Choir Madness season.
It is Show Choir Madness season. Excuse me. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's already this time of the year. Like we put out the meme where it was like, this is the last week was 10 plus comps. Yeah, that also means it's Madness season, which I kind of like. I kind of like that we get the ball rolling on this, kind of get it going. Because by the end of it, it's already going to be April, and that's when Madness is going to be over. So if you don't know what Madness is basically what this whole homeroom show choir thing was built on. In 2020, we started the Twitter page, and it was kind of like, okay, 2 weeks later, rest of the world shuts down. So we're like, how do we do something? And I just threw out the idea of Madness. We did Madness. I don't know if it was 64 choirs at that time. However, we did do a Madness, and somehow it kind of gave us a following in that regard. So kind of kept doing it ever since. People love to do it. And I mean, people love to vote for their favorite choirs. So why not keep doing it, If you want to figure out how to vote, go check our blog that is up on how to vote and like the history of Show Choir Madness. All the voting will be done on our blogs. It starts tomorrow. So first 4 voting. Off the top of my head, I don't know all the choirs maybe, but I know Sparta, West Jones. There's some really good ones. El Paso. There is. Oh no, I'm missing 2.
I think is Fishers in the first?
Fishers, yes, Fishers. They're going up against West Jones. Oh man, yes, but I mean there are some very good choirs that are going up tomorrow. Not every choir is going up tomorrow, but some are going tomorrow to finally get their footing into the field of 64, and then we'll just roll straight from there, day after day until the end. Besides maybe some comp days to break it up a little bit for you guys. So very excited to get it going. So just stay tuned to our social medias. And keep your eyes locked in on our blog so you can not miss anything voting wise.
Because the viewers deserve to know, here are the first 4 matchups that will go from
Yes.
noon Eastern tomorrow to noon Eastern on Wednesday. Number 1, Sparta Upstage Adrenaline versus West Jones Imagination. Number 2, Web City Singers versus Cedar Rapids Kennedy Happiness, Inc. Number 3, let me just scroll down a little bit here, Northwest Rankin The Ambassadors versus Fisher's Electrum. And number 4, Keller Blue Lights versus El Paso Gridley Modulations. So a lot of choirs with very passionate fan bases out there. And that's really what we're looking for in Madness. Obviously may the best choir win, but also may the choir with the most rabid fan base win as well. So certainly lots of action on tap. And we're going to launch right into the action that happened on stage this past weekend. Starting in the Omaha area, the last Nebraska competition of the season. We've been talking about them since the very first Nebraska comp. Now we talk about the last one. The Millard North Galaxy of the Stars. Final results, Millard West, West in the Groove, Vocals, Choreo Band, and the Grand Championship. Ankeny Centennial Spectrum, 2nd place. Pius X Spectrum, 3rd place. Keller Central Voices of Central, 4th place. Ankeny Centennial Vortex, 5th place. Millard West Uptown, 6th place. Ethan, where do we begin with this?
I mean, you kind of have to look right at the top, right? Millard West, just absolute on a tear. Began their season with a win, got 4th place at a really stacked Urbandale competition, like one of one stacked Urbandale competitions. However, since then, 3 in a row. Like they just,
I believe so, yeah.
Just ripped off that Band-Aid. Absolutely just going for it. They're such a strong choir. They ran a gauntlet this season. They've gone up against some very, very, very strong choirs. I mean, Ankeny Centennial Spectrum getting 2nd place here. I feel like I had Millard West winning this competition. I don't know. It feels like years ago since my predictions were out. However, like Ankeny Centennial is a program that's kind of coming back a little bit after some years that like weren't, because they were like the best and they took a little step down, but I mean, they're still really, really good. I feel like they're on a comeback this season. And then you have Pius, also an amazing choir this year with Braxton Card choreography. Shout out Keller Central for coming here and kind of making some noise, not dipping below Vortex and Uptown, because I mean that's really easy to do considering how strong those choirs are.
Michael James, anything that sticks out to you?
So I'm Millard West's biggest fan. I love Wig. Long story short, they were the first choir I saw online before I even knew what show choir was. So love Wig, love what they're doing. Their show this year is the design is so perfect. It's just day and tonight. It coming off of a story show that did extremely well last year into what they're doing this year. I don't want to call it simple because it's not simple. It's just the fact that it's easier to follow all the way through. Love it. The choreography is always on point. Their vocals are top notch. This is probably the best I've ever heard Wig be. AK Centennial coming in second. It was a toss up for me when I was looking at this roster of choirs going here. Ankeny Centennial has some beautiful moments throughout their show this year. I haven't been able to see Pius X, but I know that they run a gauntlet themselves each year. I actually thought that Vortex was going to be coming in fourth of this competition. They've been having a great year. They've run a gauntlet with going up against the mixed choirs in Iowa. And then Uptown Show is fun, and so is Keller Central. So it was between those fourth to sixth spots that were kind of a little bit more of a toss-up for me, but definitely really happy with the results, and congratulations to Wig.
One last thing that I want to talk about is Keller Central Voices of Central. This is a group that went fourth, third, and fourth in their competitions in Texas, and they maybe didn't boast the resume of a Keller Blue Lights or Fort Worth Southwest, a couple other Texas groups who came up to the Midwest this season. And yet they still were there, right there in fourth, which is about where they fell most of the other times this season. So I think Millard North, not the biggest Nebraska competition out there, but the fact that Keller Central was able to come in not being the best of the best Texas group this year, but still being able to be solidly in finals, beating what a lot of people like to say is a varsity equivalent level women's group out of Ankeny Centennial. I think that's a big feather in the cap for Keller Central and the entire state of Texas as well. They've done very well when traveling this year. Fort Worth Southwest second at Sioux Falls Roosevelt, Keller sixth at Omaha South, and Millard North's competition, Keller Central coming in fourth. Moving on to our next competition, the Fairfield Crystal Classic. 3 sets of finals here in large mixed. Center Grove with the win. Zionsville second place with best vocals and best band. Third place Marysville with best choreography. Fourth place Loveland and fifth place Grove City. Small mixed finals. Ross best vocals, best choreography, and the win. Buckeye Valley second place. Ravenswood third place. South Dearborn fourth place with best band. Sissonville fifth place. Pike sixth place. In the women's finals, Center Grove Debtones, vocals, choreo, and the win. Zionsville Choraleers second, and Marysville Swingers select third with best band. Michael James, this is Center Grove's first no caption win since 2005. What do we think about that?
This is absolutely crazy. This just goes to show how tight it must have been at the top 3 slots. The fact that it's not unheard of, but a group who wins the competition doesn't get one of the major captions. I know they're not eligible for best band, but that band can really play. I was finally able to see the video of their show, and it is so good. So good. And same thing with Zionsville. Zionsville had their show posted as well, so I was like, let's just go take a peek. Very fun, very to the point. Only 2 costumes. Love it. And Marysville just is setting themselves up for success before they go into the California circuit with Oceanside in a couple weeks. I'm actually not too surprised about this results. Actually, I take that back. Loveland over Grove City at this competition. I had Grove City over Loveland just because of how their season has been going. But seeing them sort of kind of getting back into the groove of things is really awesome. And then for single gender, Debtones. I love the Debtones. Hello Dolly ... Dolly Parton. One of the best show designs. So smart. That whole entire team really did something great with that group. It's Andy Haynes last year, so they're going all out, and it definitely shows. For the Corollaires, their show is just rocking the whole entire time with the journey just going all the way through. Their closer is probably one of my favorite treble closers of the year. And then Marysville Swinger Select, very impressed with how they're doing with their first year out. Getting third against these choirs at their biggest competition of the year, it seems, is amazing. So kudos to them.
Ethan, anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think we touched on a lot of good things. I think Michael did a good job on all of this. The thing that kind of jumps out to me is like, yes, Center Grove is like amazing, but like it almost feels like this is the most quiet, undefeated season ever. But I think that's just kind of what we expect from Center Grove nowadays. You know what I mean? Because that's just the bar that they rise. Usually, like if a group goes undefeated, you're like, oh, you point at a specific comp, and you're like, this was a comp that they had to win. Blah 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 blah. I do believe this is one of those comps. If you're if you were a group who wanted to go undefeated this season, Marysville's also in that same boat. They were trying to make some noise doing the exact same thing. Best choreography. Just shout out to them. Amazing. Because, these are all completely different styles we have here between all these. I think Loveland jumping up to fourth place here is amazing. Not just because I've seen their show, because when I saw it, I believe that it could truly grow over the course of a week or so. So kudos to them. Paxton Mertz rounding out the year. I believe that's 7 for 7.
I believe so.
So shout out to him. 2 weeks in a row
sir.
that we had to call him out. Congratulations. And then I also just want to give a shout out to Ross. Ross is, a choir that was on the top for a while, now in tier 2. Buckeye Valley is a very, very strong choir. So that had to be neck and neck. Just want to give some love to Ross Legacy.
Well, you guys touched on pretty much everything that I had down in my notes. I think the only other thing I was going to talk about was Marysville Swinger Select in their first year, taking that third women's finalist spot away from Grove City Class Act. So a good finish to the local competition season for Marysville's girls in their inaugural season. Let's talk Wheaton. Interesting comp, as always, at the Wheaton Warrenville South Choral Classic. 2/3 of this podcast was there. The final results of this one: Omaha Westside ATSC Vocals, Choreo, and Band, alongside the win. Mitchell Friendicu, second place. Wheaton North Flight, third place. Loft Jeff, first edition, fourth place. Troy Buchanan Express, fifth place. El Paso Gridley Modulations, sixth place. In the single gender division, Westside Simply Irresistible, first place. Mount Zion La Femme, second place. Loft Jeff Expressions, third place. Mount Zion You've Got Mail, fourth place. Waubonsie Valley Resonance, fifth place. Glenwood Titan Flame, sixth place. Before Ethan and I talk, Michael, just real quick, maybe not even real quick, but what are like surface level thoughts that you have about this?
ATSC winning their last competition with Doran Jobson is nothing but showing a true testament to a legacy that he's leaving behind. Those kids are going to shine no matter who's going to be directing them, but them having this be his swan song, amazing. I haven't been able to see Mitchell show yet this year, but I know that they've been kicking some major butt with a new director on their team. And then just entirely, Warrenville South just seems like the competition is so be at. I can't wait to have the opportunity to be able to go out. But seriously, all in all, it seems like it was a great day. I'll leave it to you two since you guys were there. But yeah, kudos to ATSC. Good job, guys.
Yeah, real quick on Omaha Westside Will Shine, whoever is directing them. I think the show choir world is waiting with bated breath to see who that next leader is. And I honestly just hope that it gets announced and that it's not just me poking around the West Side District 66 website in summer being like, okay, have they updated the staff listings yet? Because this is certainly something that will deserve an announcement. Mm-hmm. Ethan, before you say things, I just want to touch on finals ranks really quickly. So there were 5 judges in finals, and finals were judged on consensus ordinal rankings. In finals, West Side had 4 first place votes alongside 1 second place vote. Mitchell had 4 second place votes alongside a 4th place vote. Wheaton North had 4 third place votes alongside 1 first place vote. That's where things are pretty uniform. 4 out of the 5 judges had the same top 3 in the same order. Loft Jeff First Edition went 4th, 6th, 6th, 3rd, and 4th. Troy Buchanan Express went 6th, 4th, 4th, 5th, 5th. And El Paso Gridley Modulations went 5th, 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 6th, and 6th. So my opening question to you is, I know you didn't stay for finals, but you saw a lot of these groups in prelims. Do you think the top 3 was that clear cut?
So, yes. When I look at it as if I was like, let me put my head into a score sheet, I think this is how it turns out. I thought Westside killed everything overall. Same with Mitchell. I thought those 2 were kind of just the top 2 going into this. After watching their shows, many people had them flipped in their own heads. Like, I think Westside will have the 1. I'll have Mitchell, but regardless, they were the top 2 spots in contention for everybody. After that, I personally had Troy, and that's maybe because of my Troy bias, because I saw how great they were at Mount Zion and how much they've grown since then. Because I've seen their show maybe like 5 times now, 4 times. So seeing it grow over the course of a season, maybe that had bias on me. But like, if you look at a score sheet and you say, well, vocals count for this much, right? Wheaton North had that. Wheaton North vocally had probably maybe one of the strongest shows out of anybody there. Yes, they have so many kids on stage, but like that's almost even harder to do in some sense, and technique and style and making sure everyone's in the same shape. Bow shapes are hard to do, and they do them. I thought their show design was super cool as well. That Ferris wheel is so sick. The way that they have someone just clipping stuff on as it just goes around in a circle, and I thought that was super cool. The carriages, and also the costumes are just so Wheaton North with the green and the gold and whatever. They do a fantastic job at Wheaton. For everyone else, I think that this was just like a great opportunity to see how shows and groups and programs are growing. For example, EPG has come such a long way since 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even last year when they didn't make finals at this competition. I think Troy has come a long way since the beginning of the season. They also had to fight some personal demons to get to a point where they can show up and show out. And of course, Laugh Jeff. Last year was their first year under Mark Myers. They took a huge step this year, and they don't have a lot of kids on stage. They truly don't. The props make up majority of the stage. However,
I would say they're under 40 kids. Yeah.
Yeah. But they still put out an amazing sound. Maybe tech of the year. I think they just do so much cool things with their technology. It's almost like Mark said, here guys, I'm going to take everything from California that we had, ship it in a U-Haul so it gets to Lafayette Jefferson. So that means tech lights, screens, literally every single thing.
So much fog.
But you know what? It was great. I thought they did it very, very well. And then even the groups that didn't make finals, I was.
Hold on, do we have a comment on Lafayette Jefferson here?
I was gonna say, do they do their dress change on stage?
Yes.
They
do They do a big smoke bomb, and the whole crowd gets smoked. And then it's just great. They come out and their new costumes and all. Fantastic. That was great. I kind of see why Isma was kind of like, maybe this might be a little too much. However, but they killed it. They killed it. And they got rewarded at Naperville North for switching up there, clearly. And then even groups that didn't make finals, Mount Zion, Wabanzi, Diamond Bar, Glenwood. I was really impressed. I thought Glenwood took a huge step up from where they were at Mount Zion. I thought it was a more controlled, compact show. I thought they weren't as wild. I thought they put on a really good show. Diamond Bar, I was very happy to see a Diamond Bar show because, they're just one of those choirs you never get to catch unless you're out in California. So seeing them was fantastic. I thought their individual performers were just so talented. Like you could watch multiple people for multiple counts and be like, they do something different, and it's super cool on stage. Whether it be the drummer, a bass player, a performer, the girl with the guitar, like just fantastic all the way around. The girl with the guitar, also an amazing soloist as well. And then Wabanzi. This was the first time I've seen Wabanzi in a minute, and I mean, this season, if anyone's having a resurgence here, it's Wabanzi, and clearly you can see why. Their choreography was very clean, very cool story show, and it being an escape show. It's just different. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, how has no one done this before? And I thought they did it very, very well. Vocally, they were very, very strong. It was just kind of fun watching them like go around the whole stage and figure out, where's the key at? And their, stuff is like they're pulling so many different things out of the shelves and like movable objects. It was a super cool show, super cool show design. And then there's Mount Zion, fantastic show, I thought. Just in the field, I thought someone on showcore.com said an amazing thing about them not making finals. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yes. Thank you. This random show choir comment. It says, I don't think it's the lack of Mount Zion's abilities, but more so a testament to the other group's abilities. I'm pretty sure the preliminary scores were pretty close, but all that first part is so true. I watched it and I was like, there's probably maybe 8 groups that truly deserve to be in finals here. I think Mount Zion was right there on the cusp. Their season's not over though. They get to go to Brandon here in a few weeks, so that'll be super cool for them. However, they put on a great show, and I thought everyone just did a fantastic job, no matter who they were. It was just a great, great day. Even shout out to West Side's Girls for an amazing show. That was the first time I've seen a West Side Girls show since, 2019 or something. So it's been a while for me, and I thought they did an amazing job. Them doing a golf show is just super cool because, golf and retirement is like this, go hand in hand. So in my mind, I don't know if that was the case, but it just goes in my mind. And I thought Left Femmes did an amazing job as well with their sorority show. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Wheaton.
Well, random show choir commentator says the prelim scores were probably close. The thing is, the prelims were also judged by ordinal consensus. And so the point spread wasn't necessarily the deciding factor here. But just for kicks, we can go over it. In the prelims, West Side had 3 first-place votes, a second-place vote, and a third-place vote. Mitchell had 1 first-place vote, 2 second-place votes, and 2 third-place votes. Wheaton North had 1 first-place vote, 2 second-place votes, and 2 third-place votes. So Wheaton North and Mitchell were actually pretty much locked up as ranks wind up going. Lofjeff had 3 fourth-place votes, a 6th-place vote, and a 7th-place vote. Troy had a 3rd-place vote, a 4th-place vote, 2 5th-place votes, and a 6th-place vote. El Paso had a 4th-place vote, 2 5th-place votes, a 6th-place vote, and a 7th-place vote. So those are your 6 finalists. Mount Zion was 7th, a 6th-place vote, a 7th-place vote, 2 8th-place votes, and a 10th-place vote. Wabanzi Valley, your next choir out, 3 8th-place votes, a 7th-place vote, and a 9th-place vote. Diamond Bar, choir number 9, a 6th-place vote, a 7th-place vote, a 9th-place vote, and 2 10th-place votes. And Glenwood, your 10th choir, kind of rounding out the varsity-ish groups there, 3 9th-place votes and 2 10th-place votes. So from 7 all the way on down to 10, you had 3 different groups sitting in 10th in some form or fashion. You had Wabanzi sitting at 7, 8, 9 as well. Raw points wise, Omaha West Side 920.5, Mitchell 909, Wheaton North 905.5, Lafayette Jefferson 887, Troy Buchanan 884.5, El Paso 867. So that was your cut. Mount Zion 850, Wabanzi Valley 849, Diamond Bar 845.5, Glenwood 840.5. So the prelims scores both in the ranks and in the point totals certainly very close as well. At risk of just totally derailing this podcast entirely off schedule, I do want to shout out just the event that the Choral Classic is.
Always.
From the moment I walked in, I had parents being like, if there's anything we can do, let us know. I was able to reconnect with multiple parents that I recognized from last year, and at an event that is hosting so many huge nationally renowned choirs. The fact that the parents recognize you being there year after year, and the fact that I can recognize the volunteers being there year after year as well, just a testament to how they managed to be this great, phenomenal event with tons of fantastic choirs, and also be an event that takes care of its people as well. And of course, I always have a million options for food. I really appreciate that as well. It really keeps the lines down, especially when there are 3,000 people at school. So phenomenal event. If there are any directors out there that are looking for a spring break trip to Chicago, absolutely sign up for Wheaton next year, and do it fast if signups haven't opened yet, because I am sure that those spots are going to go very, very quickly.
You gotta
we
be
also had the Bishop.
Yeah, you gotta be like all the groups that went to the Bean, like all at the same time, like an hour apart.
Friday, I guess, was show choir takeover at the Bean. I think Diamond Bar was there, West Side was there, I think Loft Jeff was there, and was there one other group?
Maybe
Troy? Maybe not Troy.
Maybe not Troy. Maybe there was one more though.
Yeah, I think at least 3, maybe 4. Mitchell, maybe.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be the one, right?
I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, if we're lying, please call us out on that. But I think we can confirm that there were 3 different groups at the Bean on Friday in close proximity to each other. So that was kind of wild. But we also had the Bishop Hendricken Little Roadie Rumble up in Rhode Island, not New Island. The results of this one: Daniel Hand Vibe, first place and best vocals. Waltham Music Unlimited, second place with vocals and band, with choreo and band. I just keep tripping over my words. I'll make it through the rest of this read straight. Pendleton Heights, third place. South Windsor, fourth place. Lowell, fifth place. In small mixed, Scranton first edition vocals, choreo, band in the win. Hillsborough Legacy, second. And Waltham Music Express in third. In single gender, Pendleton Heights, Emerald Suites, best vocals, best choreo in the win. Shepherd Hill Illusion, best band and second. Scranton Glitter and Gold in third. And 1/3 of this podcast was at this competition. So what are your thoughts?
So this was the 4th year that Hendricken has ever hosted this comp. It has grown from 9 schools or 9 choirs going to now 28. I was there for both nights. I did best performer judging, which was an absolute blast, getting to watch actually all of these shows one after the other. It was just really amazing to see how much talent that there is up here in New England. Kudos to Richie Sylvia, Christian Cabas, and the whole Hendricken team. They run a really, really great event. They were able to get back on time. The results, they are, I think, very fair for the performances that occurred. Daniel Hand came up and showed out. They were able to get that last comp win before going to SEN this weekend. I think that this is the best that they've performed their show this year. They've changed things over the course of the year. It doesn't feel like they've plateaued at all. Very happy with how they just... The show itself is very long, but it doesn't feel that way. Like, it feels very concise going through, and that ballad, they're doing Morning Glow. It just fills up whatever space that they're in. It doesn't feel shouty. It's just a lot of sound, and it's beautiful. Second place going to Waltham. Their show is amazing. When I tell you those kids are having the time of their life while performing, it is just a sight to see. This was the first time that they've made a change to their show so late in the season. It's supposed to be a story-esque show, but towards the end, it didn't feel that way. It felt like one of their traditional good songs done well kind of thing. They added new costumes for their characters, and it actually showed in their pictures, which was really cool. And their closer dance breaks are probably my favorite of this year. Their band just pops off. I love every single second of it. Pendleton, shout out to all the Pendleton kiddos and the families that came out to Rhode Island. Some of the nicest people that I have met within the show choir world. I had a mom who was sitting with me while I was watching Best Performer to like point out names and all that sort of stuff. and we were just having a good old time watching some show choir. And I found out that some of their kiddos are either in all four of their groups or three of their four groups. I don't know how. I don't know why. But it was so cool seeing the momentum of each of their shows. Emerald Sweets, probably one of my favorite trouble groups of all time now. Their Mean Girls show it's just purely like sassy. The attitude is there. And it reads so well on stage, and probably some of the best costumes that I've ever seen in show choir, like up close. South Windsor Choral Spectrum. This was their last time competing for the year. Them ended up in fourth. I was kind of shocked actually. I think that those kids have worked super hard. Same thing with the Lowell kids. You could see that they were very much neck and neck while watching each of the groups. They can just dance. All these kids can really just dance now. Like New England used to not really be known for their choreography, but over these past couple of years, the stepping up year after year has just gotten so good. Even the small mix, it was my first time seeing Scranton and Hillsborough this year. It was Hillsborough. This is Hillsborough's second year in existence, and they're getting second place. I found out that their director is a Cosby alum, and it felt very much like a Cosby show. So kudos to them for showing up. Scranton always does super well. Their shows are just so clean and concise. Vocals are on point. Another Lighthouse show. We love Lighthouse shows up here right now.
You're definitely not sarcastic when you're saying
no,
that.
no. It's fine. But no, the whole entire 2-day festival was amazing. And I'm hoping that this competition just continues to grow. Again, kudos to my pals and my alma mater at Hendricken for throwing a great event. Here's to the next year.
Boy, if you say that this comp it should keep growing and you're already at 28 groups, is this going to turn into one of those single gender on Friday and then just small mix and large mix on Saturday type deals?
I would hope so. I would hope
that
so.
Would certainly.
They have the gym space to do it. They have 2 gyms.
Oh boy, double venue comp. Probably a first for New England. That would be incredible. If anyone's looking for a spring break trip to Boston, go sign up for the Bishop Hendricken Little Roadie Rumble next year. Spots are clearly going very quickly if they are not gone yet. I don't know if signups are open yet or not. But regardless, if you're looking for a spring break trip to Chicago or Boston, we have you covered.
Absolutely.
Let's go right into the preview portion of the show. Plenty of other big stories happening. But we just don't really have the time to cover them right now. If only this show was 2 hours. Show Choir Nationals. In the men's division, Auburn Men at Work. In the women's division on Thursday night. Carmel Accents, Zionsville Corollaires, Los Alamitos Soundtracks, Auburn Elan, Olentangy She Notes, Pedal Innovations. Let's just take a quick stop there. Predictions for the women's division on Thursday night.
I have no clue. I feel like this is just gonna be so. I just love this like mess of choirs we have. I mean, you only get it at events like this, right? Where it's like this choir would never see this choir unless they came here and all this kind of stuff. And it's like at some point I forget like what they've done all year because of just like, you just look at it, it's like it could go any way. That's how good these choirs are. I think if I was doing a top 3. Oh man. I just have to ride with Carmel Accents at the 1. I just love their show. Fantastic work, costuming, the whole shebang. It's just a fantastic show. Los Alamitos in the 2, and then my top 3, Pedal or Zionsville for me. It's so tight. I don't know. I like my Southern influence, so I'll just go Pedal. I'll go Pedal Innovations.
Anything you want to say?
I'm continuing with Ethan. I think Carmel will come out with the 1. Soundtracks at the 2, and third, Zionsville. Again, Zionsville's show this year for the Trouble Group is so fun. Very clean, very precise. And I think that's how these show choir national panels as of lately have been running towards with judging, looking for the pristine, on point, hitting all your marks right off the bat. We'll definitely see. I'll add an extra prediction. We'll see if it's split captions with best choreography going to accents, best vocals to soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Carmel with 2 captions. Give me Carmel vocals, choreo. I'll take Zionsville in 2nd, LaSalle in 3rd, Petal in 4th, Olentangy in 5th, and Auburn in 6th. In the mixed division, Rosa Scott Radiance, Musselman Kaleidoscope, Madison Central Reveille, Olentangy Keynotes, Auburn Varsity Singers, Daniel Hand Vibe, Petal Sensations, Zionsville Royal Airs, Carmel Ambassadors, Los Alamitos, Sound Effects. So many stories, so much everything. Before we get to predictions, who are 2 choirs that you are looking at with special interest to see how they do?
For me, oh man, I think I have to roll with, honestly, Olentangy. I think Olentangy is a choir that has been doing very, very solid as of late. And like you throw them in a field like this, it's almost like what can they do? Let's see it. I mean, because they do so well in their scene, snagging multiple captions, and they're always, it feels like, close to podium. I know they have like a 6th place finish somewhere. Yeah. But I know, like, they, last week, or excuse me, like, I know they were at Marysville, and I know they got 4th. So they're kind of coming off a little rough patch. However, this is a choir. They've been practicing for so long. They finally got their. They want to go to nationals, and they want to do the what do they do, a hoedown? Yeah, they do a hoedown at nationals with all the choirs. So mingle it up with all these scenes and everyone. And yeah, I think Keynotes can make some noise here. I would love to see something like that happen.
All right. 2 more groups.
Me?
Ooh.
No.
I was gonna say,
Lord. I mean, do I just take these? I'm going to take the easy route out. I want to see how Vibe is going to do. Last time that they went to SCN back in 2018, they did not place as well as they were thinking that they were going to do or wanting to do. I think with how clean their show is this year, I think the show is designed specifically for a national stage. It feels very reminiscent of something that LaSalle can do. It's a lot of Josh Green's arrangements, so it feels very familiar when you're watching it, just in a different context. The choreography is very much there, big, bold energy all throughout story show. And them winning at Hendricken this past weekend, I definitely think that it's lit a fire underneath them to continue just building upon it. I'm just hoping that they make finals. That will be huge for a New England group because I don't think that's ever been done. So, watching for that.
Yeah.
Any other one more group that you're looking at, or are all your cards with Vibe?
Actually, I'm really interested to see how Zionsville does. Because is this their first time going to SCN too? I actually don't know. I feel like I know
feel like
it's
we
Carmel.
usually see them at HOAs.
Yeah.
Between that and then, like, this is Carmel's first SCN. So seeing how they perform is going to be, again, just nail biting, very interesting to see how they do. Like I said, I think Zionsville has one of my favorite shows of this whole entire year. Just very, again, simple concepts, enjoying your life, living it to the fullest. Makes sense all the way through. Their graphics on their screens are very pretty. So hopefully that they make finals as well. I'm pretty sure that they will. I just want to see how these groups that usually don't go on the national scene are going to compete up against LaSalle.
Awesome. Well, I will take 2 groups that I think we arguably know the least about heading into this. One of these is LaSalle. They have only competed once this year. They hosted their home competition this past weekend. They had no competition worth talking about in any way, shape, or form at Burbank. So this is the first time that LaSalle is really going against people. And by golly, obviously they're a great machine, and David Mullenkamp is an incredible director and everything like that. But you can't substitute experience, I don't think, at least to a certain level, within the season. And so I think that they're really going to have to work really hard to compensate for their lack of comp experience this year. The other group that I want to really keenly see how they do is Auburn Varsity Singers. This is a group that's had a bit of a weird season, and Alabama as a whole, the scheduling has just been a little bit off this year. They were the only group in large mix at Tallahassee to begin their season. They were second place at Oak Mountain on February 8th, and then they were fourth place at Homewood on February 15th. And they're in kind of this Netherland a little bit in the South where they've lost to Titans like Homewood, like Oak Mountain, but yet they've beaten everybody else that they're supposed to beat, which in Alabama is not that many other large mixed groups. I mean, they've beaten Enterprise, they've beaten Spain Park. I don't know if they matched up against Opelika, but if they did, they certainly beat Opelika. But we don't really have a direct comparison between them and like a Petal, between them and a West Jones, between them and a Biloxi, between them and, I don't know, someone else. So Auburn, A, they haven't competed in over a month, and B, I'm not saying that they're not battle tested, but I can't really draw a lot of conclusions from Auburn's comp record this year. So I'll be very interested to see how Auburn does. Rapid fire, let's do mixed predictions. 6 finalists. Ethan, you're up first.
Okay, so, man, I'm so scared of going chalk, but I think that's kind of where I'm kind of going with this. I mean, it's March Madness season. Everything's chalk. Jay Williams' predictions on his bracket, they're all 1 seeds. Now, you said something about experience with La Salle, and I do agree. Like, within a season, you have a lot of experience. However, I'm kind of looking at it in a different way. Experience at SEN. La Salle has a bunch of it. I know, new group, new vibes, all that kind of stuff. But, you have a lot of the same people who've gone to SEN a bunch of times. And, they know that warm-up space almost better than anyone at this point, besides maybe Clinton. So I kind of just have to roll with La Salle. Now, my heart is saying Carmel because, they ran the gauntlet. They've done everything they needed to do. And plus, I've seen their show. I love their show. The way that they move and the way that they seem at the exact same time, amazing. And the show design is just perfect for them. It just fits who they are. But, however, I think I just have to roll with one with Los Alamitos at the 1. I'm going to go Carmel at the 2. Zionsville always is just fantastic. And they always just find themselves in that 3 spot under some other Indianapolis choir, which is, in their own right, like, that's just amazing because that's how Indianapolis is, just fantastic throughout. But however, I'm going to have the same thing here. I'm going to have Zionsville in the 3. And I'm going to Petal at the 4. I think Petal is a very interesting choir coming into this. They won their fair share of competitions at Biloxi. They didn't go up against anybody. However, they won that competition. I think that they've gone to this competition a few times now. It feels like they're always in the mix every other year or so. So I'm going to have them in the 4. I'm going to roll with Vibe at the 5. I really am. Call me chalk. But, I know New England hasn't done very well at SENs or national competitions. So, going into this, it's kind of hard to put them above anywhere else. But I do think they can grab this 5 spot. And, they're a very strong choir, clearly, probably being the best in New England at the moment. Beating Waltham twice in a row kind of puts them into that company. And then that last spot between Auburn and Olentangy for me. Like you said, Auburn has done what they needed to do as well. They've beaten all the choirs they should beat. However, after talking up Olentangy, I got to put Olentangy in that 6th spot. I think it's going to be extremely close. Hopefully there's no shenanigans like last year. Clean SEN. Let's see it happen. And shout out to our guys at Stream Show Choir. I cannot wait to see the angles that they get of the Grand Ole Opry. It's truly going to be such a show. If you can watch it, please watch it. They're an amazing team at streamshowchoir.com. Go check them out. Very excited to see how this goes. You only get one SEN every year, and this is the one we get. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Michael, predictions.
So at the 1, I'm going to Hail Mary and say Carmel's is going to beat Los Al. I'm just going to put it out there. I think that they know what they're up against. I think Will is kind of right. The fact that Los Al truly has not had a fire up against them to compete. They might be going in thinking that it's going to be easy. I think Carmel has been preparing for this whole entire year. Again, I think it's going to be split captions, though. I think best choreography will go to Carmel, best vocals to Los Al. Los Al being in the second. Third going to Zionsville. Fourth going to Pedal. Fifth Vibe. And instead of Olentangy at the sixth, I'm going to say Auburn. Being able to see what they did last year at Andover and seeing how well put together their shows are, I feel like they can definitely make a mark within the prelims round at SCN this year. Again, different storylines. I could be totally wrong about this. I am probably totally wrong about all of this. But just for craps and giggles, I think that it's going to be very interesting for those 4th through 6th spots.
Yeah. Michael, you did a perfect job because you faded me. That's exactly what I wanted. So good job. So, this podcast can't be completely wrong unless we'll just, screw something up here. So your turn.
Yeah, so I actually have Rosa Scott Radiance winning.
Yeah.
I have the freshman group, the one freshman group that's here. I have them winning. No, with all due respect, shout out Bradley Davis and all my Rosa Scott Radiance people. Yeah, I think the only thing I'm confident in is that Carmel's going to get vocals and Los Al's going to get choreo. And any other placements or any other anything, I'm just kind of throwing my hands up and being like, shoot, man, I don't really know. But besides that, boy, I have such an interesting read on Carmel because I saw their show at the beginning of the year and at their first competition of the season, I should say. When I saw that show, I was like, okay, you know what? Like this is a really, really good show, but it very clearly got beaten by Linmar. Now the question is Los Alamitos Linmar? And how has Carmel's show improved since the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
And those are the questions where I struggle to reconcile my equilibrium. Now, just on impulse, I'm going to have to give it to Los Al because their shows feel like experiences. And I know that score sheets really don't have an experience factor, right? Like show design maybe, but I just, on vibes, Los Al, choreo, Carmel vocals, Zionsville. I think Zionsville is going to be eligible for band. At least they won band last week at Fairfield. So Zionsville, band, Pedal 4, Daniel Hand 5. Olentangy 6.
Whoa! Wow!
Damn.
You and I agree.
Which is crazy because I just talked about how Auburn was a group that I wanted to watch, but I don't know. Okay, you know what? No, give me Auburn because Olentangy. As much as I hate to say it, in order for me to be really confident at Olentangy, I needed them to be second or at bare minimum third at Marysville. The fact that they just lost to a show that I watched get 8th place on Saturday. And it shows 2 weeks is a lot of time for stuff to change, but give me Auburn, I guess. Oh man. Yeah. It just lots of different ways that 6 could go. Interesting that we all had the same 3, 4, 5 because this is Joe Choir Nationals. And that is certainly not going to happen. As soon as all 3 of us agree on something, it's just going to go kaflooey and Pedal is going to go from 5th in prelims to 3rd in finals, and Pedal's going to be Zionsville, and all this stuff is going to happen. And you know what? All right, fine. Let me adjust my predictions.
Switch them up.
Yeah, Los Al 1, choreo, Carmel 2, vocals, Pedal 3. Pedal Sound Stations group that took choreo from Clinton Attaché at their last competition. Okay.
Yeah.
Pedal at the 3, Zionsville at the 4, Auburn at the 5, Daniel Hand at the 6. So
I like that flip.
I just faded everything. Okay, we cannot be wrong.
One thing I thought you touched on very well, Will, is like Carmel was just like so good at Chesterton, and that was like their first show. So like I just can't imagine how much better it is. Like I just can't. Like I can't fathom. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Whatever the result is, it's gonna be historic. Can't wait. It's just gonna be great.
We also have a handful of other events going on, and we got like 5 minutes left. So we are just absolutely going to run through these.
Speed run.
The Powhatan Diamond Classic in Virginia, large mixed, Midlothian Just for Show, Jefferson Pop Singers, Atlee Illusion, Manchester Capital Swing, Cosby Spotlight. Main headlines for this one: Manchester and Cosby split captions last time they saw each other, which I believe was at Hanover on March 1st. So going to be interesting to see who takes the top spot there. Jefferson has a third and a second and will probably win Martinsburg on March 29th. So they're looking for a big piece to add to their results this year as well. Midlothian has looked solid as well. Predictions on this one?
Cosby, Manchester, Martinsburg. Those are my top.
Martinsburg is in middle mix and there's no finals. Try again.
Oh, then give me Midlothian.
Michael James.
That is basically what I was going to say. Split captions between Cosby and what's it called, Martinsburg again.
To throw out a favorite phrase of this podcast, hungry dogs run faster.
Yep.
And I don't think Cosby's going to let a caption split happen twice. Cosby vocals, choreo, band, opener, ballad, closer, show design, best soloist, best performer, best dress director, best everything, man.
Everything.
Cosby, everything. Manchester 2, Jefferson 3, Midlothian 4, Atlee 5. Indiana State Large School Finals. I'll be here for the single gender portion of this one. Very interested to go to this one. Let's just talk about mixed, though. Castle, North Central, Plainfield, Lawrence North, Kokomo, Whiteland, Lawrence Central, Avon, and Pike. Where our Indiana writers kind of see things right now: North Central, number 5, Avon, number 6, Plainfield, generally somewhere between number 7 and number 9 this year. Lawrence North has capped into the rankings as well once or twice this year. Predictions on this one, Ethan?
Yeah, so it's like Avon's going for a clean sweep of, not a clean sweep of the whole year.
Avon comes in undefeated.
Going for an undefeated season at this competition. North Central last week, a lot of people were doubting them. Many thought, Fishers could beat them. Fishers didn't even make finals. So just kind of like a weird competition in that regard. Shout out Ben Davis for a great placement for them. So North
they should
Central,
be here. Ben Davis should be here.
They should be here. This would make it a lot more fun. I mean, it is a lot of fun, but like if Ben Davis was here, it'd be great. So North Central, I mean, if they can, this is like the big mark of their year. If they can top down Avon, who's almost steamrolled the whole year, it'd be huge for them, especially because last week they were kind of like, well, we're here now. Like we've always been here. Like nothing's changed. So if they can topple Avon at this comp, it'd be huge. I'm gonna have just that. I'm gonna have North Central at the 1, Avon at the 2, Plainfield at the 3, and then I'm just gonna end there.
All right, Michael James, predictions.
I'm giving some high hopes to Avon. Avon in the 1, North Central in the 2, Plainfield in the 3, and then adding in a 4th, Castle.
All right.
Castle had
I'll
some good shows as of lately, so I could definitely see them. I need to get more into the brain of some Indiana choirs as of lately.
Going 1 through 9 on this one for me. Number 1, North Central. Number 2, Avon. Whoa. Number 3, Plainfield. Number 4, Lawrence North. Number 5, Castle. Number 6, Lawrence Central. Number 7, Pike. Number 8, Whiteland. And number 9, Kokomo. Heart of America, Los Angeles. First time Heart of America is in Los Angeles. Also the last time, for the time being, they'll be back to New York City in 26. Mixed division, Center Grove Sound System, Fishers Electrum, Broken Arrow Tiger Rhythm, Brea Olinda Masquerade. In women, Center Grove Debtones, Fisher Sound, Broken Arrow Tiger Mystique, Brea Olinda Spellbound, and Bonita Vista Sound Unlimited. 3 finalists in each division. Ethan, if you want to do mixed, women's, or both, just quick predictions.
Okay, yeah. One thing is if you have 4 choirs, I don't get why having 3 finalists. That's just kind of like my thing. I don't know why that's kind of happened this year. Like leaving one group out is kind of weird to me. However, it's going to be tight. I think the battle between the last Fishers and Brea Olinda is going to be really, really interesting to see for me. I'm going to have Center Grove sweep at the 1, Broken Arrow at the 2. I kind of have to run with my Midwest biases, so I'm going to have Fishers in that last one, and then, of course, Brea Olinda in the last one. For Treble Finals, I'm going to have – it's so good. I'm going to go Debtone just because, they're a fantastic choir. They've been doing what they need to be doing. Fishers in the 2, and then I'm going to have Broken Arrow, Tiger Mystique in the 3.
Pretty much the same with mixed. For treble, Center Grove definitely in the 1. Fisher's in the 2. Fisher's is definitely in a weird year this year. Their group is very, very young. But definitely in a couple years, they're going to keep on getting back to where they just were coming from. And then I will say Tiger Mystique in the 3.
One
Awesome.
thing I
Quick
will
predictions.
actually know, Will, one more thing is like HOALA and Showcar Nationals, we yet have to have judges listed for it. It's like there's no judge list for Nationals yet. So, or this one. So it's like my prediction might just change solely off who's ended up judging. So
Right.
just want to throw that out there. Like mine are definitely not settled for either competition.
Mixed. Center Grove, Broken Arrow, Fishers, Women's, Center Grove, Fishers, Brea. Give me Brea at the 3 for the women's. My studio lighting is basically gone. So is Ethan's. Michael James, you're the only one with light left, but that means that it is about time for us to say goodbye. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
No problem, folks. Always love coming on.
Whether you are competing this weekend, whether you're going to a comp, whether you are maybe just taking a break from show choir for Saturday because your season is over, have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful weekend. And as always, we will see you right back here next week, Monday, for Show Choir Nation. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, folks.